Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down to bite-sized pieces. Today, we've got two big stories. First up, Ripple sues YouTube. Enough said. Also, there's a happy ending to the Ethereum DeFi hack, but is there really? And we're going to go into depth about why this happened, what actually happened, and what could prevent this in the future. And finally, we're going to go over scam of the day. We've been slacking on this a little bit over the last 2 or 3 days, but it's time to get back into the groove, and we'll hit this at the very end of this video. But let's jump into today's articles. So first up, let's take a look at CoinMarketCap and see what we got, where are we going, what's happening. Now, as you may have heard, the oil futures market took a big dump yesterday, and there's a lot of problems with that. And as soon as that was announced, the cryptocurrency market took a huge dump as well. So what I think is that there are institutional investors, which we know that they are here, and they lost their tails on some futures market, and they had to liquidate some assets. And what is the most liquid out there? Cryptocurrency digital assets. It's open 24/7 and they can get their money, and that's exactly what happened. Now, having said all that, I firmly believe it was the oil crash that caused this. However, there's going to be some TA person out there that said, yeah, I predicted this 18 months ago. Sure you did, pal. And that's all I have to say about that. So we'll see exactly how it works out. I mean, it will eventually reverse, but it's going to take some time, and we'll see how the cryptocurrency market responds. However, today, Bitcoin at 68.92, so it's just below 7K. Not a big deal. It was around 7K yesterday, so not too bad. Ethereum, after the DeFi hack, only lost less than 1% at 173. XRP $18, and everybody's in the red except for Tezos. Interesting. Also, Chainlink down 1.6. So let's jump into today's big topic. First up, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this for so long. And you guys know, if you've been with me for a bit, you know that we have done Scam of the Day since all the way back in January. At the beginning of January, we were doing Scam of the Day because there were so many scams out there and people were getting screwed out of their money. Ripple actually stepped up and they put out some information, and they had their own task force to deal with all these scams that were on YouTube. And I couldn't figure it out because, you know, like, we would have scams, we would have everybody report them. We'd have thousands of people sometimes report one scam, and it would still be up. And as we're going to see later on, there's one scam that's been here for over 30 days, even though everybody's been reporting it. So what the heck is going on? Well, Ripple got so angry, and well, they should, because they are a part of these different scam videos that are on YouTube. They say, you know what? Forget it. We're going to sue you, YouTube, because you're not doing your job. Your job is to protect the community, and you're not doing your job. So if you can't do it, we're going to force you to do it, and that's kind of what happened. So let's take a look at this article. So Ripple claims, rightfully so, that YouTube's deliberate and inexplicable failure to address a pervasive and injurious fraud occurring on its platform has resulted in millions, let me say that again, millions of XRP valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars being taken away from the victims of fraudulent XRP giveaways. The exact numbers of defrauded people can't be known, but that the scope of the harm is definitely vast. YouTube has the means to stop the scam, even highlighting its tools and abilities to identify and remove fraudulent content, but refuses to do so. The lawsuit states that Ripple sent hundreds of takedown notices since November 2019. So they did it even before I did it. So that's something. And I can just tell you right now that if you look at the scam of the day, and I don't know if Ripple would need this information, but I'm just letting you know that I have data on all the different things that we did, how long it took to actually report these, and how long it took to actually remove them. So, you know, if Ripple's watching my video, which, you know, maybe, who knows, got a dream, I have some information for you if you need it. No problems, no questions asked. Anyhow, moving on. Once again, they claim that they've repeatedly asked YouTube to take action against these repeated scams by multiple actors, but they refuse to do so. YouTube's inaction undermines its public commitments, and it's in their terms of service. They're supposed to safeguard the community. That's why they give strikes to YouTube channels, because they didn't go against the guidelines. So if you're going to do that for that, and then take down people's information or videos, you need to do that for the scams. It just makes sense. Anyhow, The law firm that Ripple's being represented by is Boyce, Schiller, and Flexner. And they state YouTube enabled and assisted these scams to thrive. Interesting. Has profited from them via video discovery ads and has validated the hacked accounts as legitimate via verification badges. The court should compel YouTube to fulfill its legal obligations, to discontinue its policy of willful inaction, and to prevent further irreparable harm to Ripple's brand and Mr. Garlinghouse, which is the CEO of Ripple, reputation, which in turn will prevent further financial injury to the individuals who are duped by this scam, writes the plaintiff. So for all of you subscribers or you watching this video right now, if you've ever taken a screenshot of all these different instances of where an ad has come up where it is a scam, and you have that, let me know, because I'd like to, maybe we could email back and forth and see what you have, because that would be interesting information to possess. Moving on. Plaintiff seeks injunctive relief to halt YouTube's contributory infringement, which irreparably harms plaintiffs and has no adequate remedy at law. Plaintiffs also request any and all available damages. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because you can't know what kind of damages it actually happened, because you don't know what these scammers have taken. But it includes this: in awards to plaintiffs of damages, including but not limited to compensatory, statutory, and punitive damages as permitted by law, and in such amounts to be proven at trial. A recovery in restitution equal to any unjust enrichment enjoyed by defendant YouTube. Meaning, if they had these scammers who they were supposed to verify, they bought ads, they took money from these scammers, then they're going to be punished for pre and post judgment interest as allowed by law, for any such other relief as the court may deem just and proper. Meanwhile, Ripple said that they hired an undisclosed external cybersecurity and digital threat intelligence vendor to help with reporting and takedown efforts, in addition to building their own submission form, which I'm going to link in the description below. It looks like this. And I will just, if you have anything you want to report, you can go directly to Ripple. And that's it. So I'm not going to delve any more deeper into this article. I think we know exactly what's going to happen, but the time has come. YouTube had a lot of opportunities to fix these wrongs. They could have stepped in, and I know what you're saying. How could people fall for such an obvious scam? Well, look at it this way. It's not just you who's on YouTube. It's other people who, like your mother, your dad, your grandparents, they're on YouTube too, believe it or not. And they can just as easily fall victim to it, or somebody who just isn't really well versed and who is new. So it's up to YouTube really to safeguard, and that's what's in their guidelines. That's why they enforce people like me to make sure that I follow guidelines. I can't put on like some very harmful and disturbing videos. I can't do a lot of different things as far as like that would go outside these guidelines. So if they're going to enforce me, they got to enforce themselves. Nobody is above the law. I'm glad to see this done, because if it didn't happen, even with all our efforts that we did, and I want to say thanks to everybody who's helped me out with these scams today, if they're just going to turn a blind eye, time's come, time's here. All right, moving on. Next up, happy ending to the Ethereum DeFi hack. Still leaves much to be desired. So the evening of April 18th, it is the 21st right now, but the DeFi lending lendf.me went into a tailspin. Within a few hours, 25 million worth of value held mostly in Ethereum and Tether USD was wiped from the protocol as it was stolen by an exploit. But in a dramatic turn of events, the funds have been returned. Over the past 24 hours, the hacker has slowly siphoned coins back to the users, with 25 million worth of Ethereum and ERC tokens now sitting snug in D-Force's admin address. Can you imagine how lucky these guys got to get it back? Not that, I mean, they're going to have to, really work hard again to make sure this doesn't happen, because it just already happened. But imagine you just lost 25 million and someone who goes, hey, here you go. You can have it back. Amazing. Amazing. So how'd this happen? I'm going to tell you why. It was, maybe many reasons, I think. Anyhow, Camilla Russo, a Bloomberg journalist, pointed out that prior to the LendF debacle, there were exploits in March, February, and June of last year. She states, it's not just one product's problem. DeFi needs better security standards, or we'll continue seeing the downside of that composability, double-edged sword. And not only that, but if this keeps happening, who's going to want to go to DeFi? It's like, it's worse than gambling. Why don't you just take your ledger with your recovery phrase and put it in the toilet and flush it, because that's essentially you're gambling. Yeah, I mean, you're super gambling because it's just going to go away if you're going to keep using DeFi. I always figured that DeFi was the ace in the hole, but if we see these security issues, you got to plug those up. And that's the problem with being a first mover or being a first type of investor like we are. We have to go through all these aches and pains. It'll pay off later, just right now. That's the problem. Moving on. This hack is likely to spark more questions than ever about decentralized insurance products. A big theme of the hack of DeForce's LendF.me protocol was that the user affected lost a large portion of their savings, which was 25 million, which was thought to be lost forever. And here was the interesting part. This is one of the reasons why I think it was given back. It states you can include messages in Ethereum transactions by converting text into hexadecimal code. One person wrote to the hacker and they state, hey, that money, which is 10,700 that this person had, was all of my cash savings. I don't know what your situation is, but I'm personally hurting, so please do what you think is right. So imagine having to beg a person who just stole from you not to destroy you. That's a humbling experience, and I hope nobody has to go through that. But it wasn't just that person. Others followed suit, echoing their feelings of loss, with another penning a story about how they are apparently going to lose their belongings as the Ethereum that was stolen was purchased through a loan. Through a loan. And they put that all into DeFi, hoping to double up. And this is, I want to speak to this section quickly. All you people, or all you traders, or everybody out there who is leveraging their trades, you're getting wrecked. You're getting wrecked, and I know you don't want to admit it, and that's okay, but this is just my thoughts. Maybe you shouldn't do so much leverage trading because very few people are actually successful at that, and it makes the whole cryptocurrency that much more unstable. Now, cryptocurrency digital assets aren't stable anyhow. It is a speculative risk, but with leverage trading, more people get wrecked than I've seen in hacks, it seems like. And you can see the statistics that traders, statistically, it's not a lot. It's not near as many as you would think that are actually profitable. So just think about that. And especially taking loans, that's bad advice. Anyhow, that's pretty much it. So there was that piece of it. People just, use the emotions to go to the hacker and go, look, I'm begging you, please help me, because all this money that I had is now gone and you stole it. So I can't be mad at you. Just please do what's right. I just can't imagine that. So there's that piece. Another piece could be that this was just an exploit by somebody else who wanted to prove that there was a huge hole in DeFi, and now it's out there in the open. Hopefully they can fix it. I would just say that it comes down to this, really. And as an insurance product, whereas users pay a fixed fee or third parties audit the code of protocols, could have been a great benefit amid this debacle. So I would see it like this. In the old days, banks didn't have, or there wasn't much regulation. This is a long time ago. They didn't have insured bank accounts. And if someone came in off a horse and robbed the bank, that's it, your money's gone. So they started to be regulated more, and they started to have insurance policies, the FDIC. And from that, I think that's what's going to have to come in here to make a play, because you can't just have these DeFis just going, well, should be okay, but some type of insurance policy or some type of independent auditors. Now, I'm not sure if all the DeFis do it, or if there's just a couple of sections that do it, but they should all be doing these two things. Some type of insurance policy to back everything up, and some type of third-party independent auditors who come in and would say, there's a problem with your code, there's a problem with this, you need to fix this. It happens in every other industry. It happens in healthcare. It happens in finance. It should happen in DeFi. That's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below about this article, and about what do you think about what is happening with Ripple and YouTube. Fascinating stuff. And my final thoughts is this. I know the point of decentralization is freedom. I mean, it brings us freedom, and it's very out in the open, and it's very transparent. But sometimes you need a little balance. Sometimes it goes so far off to the right side as far as freedom that you have just chaos and anarchy. And then you go so much far to the other side that you have the lack of freedom and total control, and you're just shut down in a dictatorship, essentially. So there's always something in the middle that we can work for, and these are all compromises, and that's just how I see it as far as the growing pains of cryptocurrency digital assets. So that's it. That's it for today's the videos. I think these are two fascinating articles. If you've got time, well, first of all, thanks for sticking with me through the rants. But if you got time, let's go over scam of the day. I think this is going to play into what we just saw with YouTube and Ripple. So let's break into that right now, just 2 minutes. So first of all, here is our list of scams of the day. So as you can see, we started in January. We did pretty well, and there's just a slowdown. Just seemed like some of these scams just never went away. And this one, all of these have been around from February 29th to March 2nd. Same thing over here. And we've been reporting and reporting and reporting. They don't go away. So let's do some reporting today. Maybe that'll help Ripple's cause. So in the comments section or the description in every one of my videos, if you click on that, you're going to see a section that's labeled Scam of the Day. And when you click on that link, it's going to bring you to this handy dandy Google spreadsheet. You're going to come in here and it's going to show you the latest scams that are open. So we're going to click on that. It's going to take us to our first one here. And what we're looking for, I mean, don't just take my word for it. So this is a scam, I think it is. But what do? First of all, we look at the comments section. And this is definitely a red flag. I'm just going to say it. A lot of people think this is a scam. Now, maybe this guy, Wen Mullet, maybe he's just a big hater. Maybe he just hates Binance airdrops. And maybe all these people just hate it. There's a lot of people that hate it. But what we're looking for then is that's just a red flag. Let's take a look here. What we're looking for is an asymmetrical giveaway. So it says here, if you send us 1 Bitcoin, we're going to give you 5. If you send us 5 Bitcoin, you get 25 Bitcoin back. That doesn't exist. That's an asymmetrical giveaway. And you don't have to just believe me. You can contact Binance or the official website, send an email and go, hey, is this a scam? They'll tell you it is. You can send it to Ripple. You can send it to Nano, Ledger, all those places. They're all going to tell you it's a scam. So once you get that out of the way, let's do something about it. First of all, let's downvote, which I already did. And let's click on the 3 dots and report. And we're going to say this is spam or misleading. And we're going to say it's a scam or fraud. And it doesn't apply. All right, now you can click this. This applies the links within the video description, but really it's right in here. But we'll click anyhow. And then next, and then just say, hey, this is a scam. And feel free to say whatever you want, but it is a scam, and we're going to report it. And that should be it. So we're done. And if you could do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Also help our cause. Also help the people out there that could be screwed out of their money. So you're doing great things. Thank you so much. Anyhow, that's it for today. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. If you like those types of videos, there's going to be 2 more that's going to pop up on your left and right. Don't know exactly what they are because YouTube kind of picks those. But they're all mine. So you'll be safe. And that's it. So thanks for everything, watching, and I'll see you on the next one.